Hey, hey, welcome back. Together, connect, create. I'm your host, Megan Schultz, and this is the podcast where I'm just hoping to leave little ideas, little nuggets of inspiration, things that you can try with your people wherever you find yourself to build community, to get together, to connect, and just to sprinkle a little bit of joy in this world, because that is what we need. Today's guest is Maura Flaherty. She is my dear friend and neighbor, and she also by day serves as the chief legal counsel at the Department of Health Services for the state of Wisconsin, where she does really important work like, I don't know, getting people their SNAP benefits back so they can put food on the table. But today, we are actually not talking about what she does during the day. We are talking about how she gets food on the table every 6 to 8 weeks with a group of girlfriends at her Cookbook Club. Of course, we've all heard of book clubs where you get together and you talk about a book, but this is a cookbook club where you get together with friends and eat. I love this idea. As soon as I heard about this, I wanted to bring her on here to have her talk about this. And I am just going to let her dive right in and talk about it. So I'm not going to say too much more. Before I dive in, though, I do just want to say I put something out in my newsletter a little while ago about wondering if this podcast was feeling tone deaf because I don't always go into what's happening in the world and we just jump right into these sweet and sometimes silly and fun little things that people are doing. And I just want to say that the world is heavy and I have my senator on speed dial. I am heartbroken and horrified at some of the things, all of the things that are happening out there. And I think these tiny connections, these sparks of humanity, these stories of what people are doing to bring joy for themselves, for their families, for other people. I think those are the things that we also need to hear so that we can keep up the good fight, so that we can do the work that we need to do, so that we can stay inspired and stay motivated and be reminded that there is good in the world, even when it seems like we have lost our way completely. So I just wanted to get that little caveat in there. And with that, we will dive into this conversation with my friend Maura. Hello, Maura. Welcome, welcome.
Hi, thank
I
you.
am so excited to have you here. It's always fun to have friends on, and honestly, I feel like maybe I should call this podcast "My Friends Do Cool Things" because I have had quite a few of my friends who just are doing super cool things, and I know I said in the intro that you are the chief legal counsel. And so I know you're busy, so very busy. So thank you for taking a few minutes out of your day to chat with me.
I'm very happy to be here. My daughter thinks this is the coolest thing I've ever done. So I got some real street cred from being on the podcast.
I love it. She does poke. Listeners, Maura's daughter and my daughter are BFFs, and she does. When she sees me in my little recording studio, she's like, can I be on it? Can I come be on your podcast?" So I will get her on one day if that's okay with you one of these days.
One day, that'd be great.
We're not talking though about what you do during the day. I mentioned that in the intro too. We're talking about what you do on a Saturday night, and that is your cookbook club with friends.
Yes.
Can you tell listeners a little bit about what is even a cookbook club, right? We know what book clubs are, but what is a cookbook club? Tell us.
Sure. So, a group of, in our case, 7 women get together about every 6 to 8 weeks. And one of us hosts, and the host chooses a cookbook. And everyone in the group makes a dish from that cookbook and brings it to the dinner. And we all try each other's dishes and have a delicious meal. And I have had a ton of great food in this way
Mm.
and gotten some new recipes. But honestly, like the most crucial thing is it's just a great excuse to get together with friends and
Yeah.
sit and have a really, really delicious meal.
Yeah. Whose idea was this, or where did you hear about this cookbook club?
I heard about it from a person I followed on, I think, Instagram. Her handle is Wit and Delight. This was many years ago, and I had seen her talk about doing this or share, some video of her friends doing this, and I thought it was really cool. And I was kind of relatively new to Milwaukee and really just had met a few women through my husband and his colleagues, the wives of his colleagues. And I kind of just wanted an excuse to hang out with them more. We'd hung out a few times at like work related events, and I was like, these women are awesome. And I shared with them this thing I had seen online, and we had talked about liking to cook, and it just kind of snowballed from there. So we embraced that idea, and now it's been, I don't know, maybe 5 years, 4 or 5 years, that we've been doing
Wow.
this consistently. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's a lot of cookbook clubs. Are your shelves lined with cookbooks or how do you get these?
No, we've gotten a little flexible with it. So we'll pick a recipe author really. So I almost always find recipes online.
Oh, okay.
One of the members is a dedicated, like she rents the cookbook from the library every time she brings it to the dinner. And so you can scroll through, and she like has a genuine appreciation for the beauty of a physical cookbook and the
Mm,
pictures
yeah.
and the stories and everything. And I just look online.
Nice. Nice. What has been I don't know, your favorite or a good story from one of these nights?
Mm, well, that is, I mean, each night it's just really good conversation. And I know that sounds sort of boring, but I mean, it's seven women with really pretty different backgrounds and doing different things in life. And I feel like it's just like it's really about the conversation. And we have covered everything under the sun. I think the thing that is most, I don't know, memorable, meaningful, heavy, but beautiful is that in 2024, one of the women in our group lost her husband.
Mm,
He had an inoperable brain tumor, and she's from England, as was he. And so, not like her family's not around, right? And I think it became a really great space because, as she said, this is one of the spaces where we normally don't gather as couples or
mm,
as a family. It's just me, and it's always just been me. This is my space. And so coming to Cookbook Club, even in those hardest times, was sort of like, one, it was a great excuse for us to continually get together with her through that hard plotting forward. And I think too, for her, it was like a social thing. She could do a space we could talk about that.
mm,
And so
mm.
yeah, it's been we've all gone through things in the years that we've had Cookbook Club, and it's really become like a very important connection point for us, I think.
Mm. Yeah, what a beautiful, I mean, the cookbook part of it and the dinner part of it then almost becomes tangential to the gathering
Yeah,
for the friends and the place to
totally.
be safe and totally yourself and to be able to show up somewhere and feel seen.
Yeah. They at the end of 2024, start of 2025, they got me to do something I will never do again, and I never thought I would do, which is the polar plunge.
Oh,
Um,
what?
but Emma, who lost her husband, I think we were like, let's say goodbye to 2024, a heavy year in a big way. Let's like make this a thing. And I don't think anyone else in the world could have gotten me to do this except the Cookbook Club girls and women. And yeah, so that was really fun. And the group did it again this year, and I just went and cheered them on. But
You did not get in
yeah,
the water this year.
no, horrifying. But I think my hatred of being cold is deep, runs deep. So the fact that I was able to do this speaks to how much I love them and how much fun we have. It
Yeah.
was fun, even though it was painful, physically painful to me, to be in that cold water. But yeah.
So
it's been amazing. It's been a really great experience with these
yeah,
women.
yeah. And so there are seven of them, and you said at the beginning they came from mostly your husband's, the wives of people that he works with, or people or women that he works with that you like. But is there room? I'm thinking about sort of universalizing this for people who are listening who are like, oh, I think that's a great
Hmm.
idea. Has there been room for people to come in and out, or has it been those seven from the beginning? Or if somebody wanted to join, would you let them, or would it need approval from all the members, or how would you say membership works?
Good question. Well, there were four of us whose husbands all worked together. And we thought this was a good idea. At the beginning, I said, "Oh, I have a friend who just moved into town. I think you all would really like her. She'd fit in well with this group." Another friend said, "Oh, I also know someone who would love this."
Mm,
So we kind of pulled this group of seven together at the beginning, and we have not changed.
mm,
We have not even had a much of a conversation about changing the membership. I mean, I do think it's a good number. It's hard. We almost never get all seven of us. We said from the beginning, we'll do this every 6 weeks to 2 months. We'll the host throws out usually 3 dates. The date that gets the most attendance wins.
mm,
So usually there are six of us. Usually most of us can do one of the dates. There have been four, and there have been times with seven. And that is critical for people considering starting it. If you wait until every single person can make it, you're going to do this 3 times a year.
mm,
If you
mm-hmm.
just say this is what the cadence is, and we are constantly texting any person who might be missing, or like sending the pictures, but everyone has missed one. And I think that just keeping it going with the group who's able to make it is critical to functioning. But I would say in terms of getting the group together, it's just an excuse. I have this experience. I could probably start a second cooking club because there are women I meet
Mm,
and I think, I want to be friends with you. You meet them a couple times, you really click, and you're thinking like, what's a good excuse to hang out more? And I'm sure there are many good excuses to hang out
mm,
more. I feel like that's what this podcast is helping do. But this is one idea that's really worked for me. It's been really fun, and it's pretty easy. You can make your dish the day of. It doesn't need to be too elaborate in terms of the investment, or you can go crazy. And like some weeks, people really like cooking. So sometimes they'll make a couple dishes and
mm.
some elaborate dessert thing that takes like 17 steps. And other times, one of us will text and say, "I'm bringing a cocktail because I don't really have time to cook." So,
I'm sure that's
yeah,
welcomed.
it's always welcome. Yes, always
So
loud.
going back to the logistics, does whoever's hosting, obviously they choose the date, and do
Mhm.
they choose the cookbook, and then do they assign, how do you not get five desserts or four of the
Right.
same thing?
So the host does pick the cookbook and the date, and then the host always makes the main dish.
Okay.
And everyone else on the text chain will just say, "I'll do dessert this time. I'll do an app. I'll do a side." And sometimes we'll text and say, "I'm debating between these two. What does everyone think sounds better?" But a lot of times we're actually meeting tomorrow, and I have a veggie side, and I don't even know right now what I'm making. Like, I
Mm,
won't tell the group before I show up. We just kind of show up and see how things blend together. It's not really like overly prescriptive. And I think, again, that just makes it easier. And there have been times where we are blown away by how perfectly the meal comes together, like as if
mm.
we planned it. And then there are other times we laugh because it's like, oh, these are pretty funny flavors together.
Which is probably part of the
But
fun, as opposed to
it
it
is,
being
it
so
is.
rigid and so
Yeah.
spelled out.
Exactly. Again, I think it's the heart of it has always been an excuse to have a good meal and spend time together. So we have definitely not sweat the small stuff with it. And yet everyone, like, especially when you have the time, we all want to have fun with it. So yeah, there have definitely been times, even for tomorrow, like I have two recipes and I'm thinking I might have time to just knock them both out. It's not like we're totally phoning it in, but there's always the option to phone it in.
Mm,
The more important thing is that you come.
yeah. So don't let that stop you from showing up to the table.
Mhm.
Who's the cookbook author tomorrow for you?
Oh, it's Ottolenghi.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Is it one particular cookbook of his, or is it anything that he's done?
I always interpret it as anything the author has done because I never get the book. I'm always Googling best Ottolenghi vegetable side. And that's how I get my recipes. I think there is a proper book that was selected, but
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't know what it
I do have
was.
one of his if you want to come borrow it.
Oh,
You'd
I
be
might take you
welcome.
up on that. I'm
Hmm.
like a recipe reviews person though. I will always check the reviews and see crowd favorites. I don't actually like the cookbook because there are no reviews on the
Mm,
cookbook.
mm.
Maybe I should trust more, but no, I like knowing something is well loved.
Well loved. Yeah. Well, you could read
Mhm.
mine because that is the one rule in my house. We are allowed to write in cookbooks. So I will make notes on after I've made something like, do I like it? Or Will said this about it, or, like just
I love
how it was
that.
received by my family. So everyone hated it. Don't do this again. Um, can you think of some of the other, as people who might want to get this off the ground, some of the other authors or cookbooks that have been winners through the years?
Everything, honestly, we've had great success. I really liked, it's called What's Gabby Cooking, or it might be pronounced a little differently than Gabby. It's Gaby, Gaby maybe, but she's kind of got an online
Hmm.
presence, a blog, and I think I had heard of her before she was picked, but that was one of those meals where it came together perfectly. No one coordinated beforehand, and it was just
Hmm.
a great meal. I think I made a salad and this like kind of corn, like Mexican corn side, and both are have made my like go-to recipes list. So that
Ooh.
was a good one. We have one of the women in the group is French, and her first time what is the Julia Child?
Oh
She's the
yeah.
one, the American who cooks French food.
Yeah.
And I had really never made a Julia Child recipe before, so I thought that was kind of fun. And
Yeah.
our French friend is a fantastic cook. Like not shocking. And so she made, one of like a traditional French main that was amazing and brought wine from her hometown. And
Hmm.
that was a special night. But yeah, we've had some fantastic food. Those are the
Yeah.
ones that come right to mind though.
Yeah. Maybe you can send me the links to some of those recipes you've tried and I'll put them in the show notes for people. Be
Oh
a little
yeah.
little bonus.
Yes, I'll send some favorites. We actually, at the end of the first year, we did a best, or no, the second year. So we'd done 2 years worth of Cookbook Club and we did best of. And we
Ooh.
invited significant others to that one. And now
Oh,
this was like back in 2023, maybe. So yeah, we invited because the significant others kind of like smell this food that's cooked, they
yeah.
see that there's like a feast, amazing feast, and don't usually get to try it. So we did best of, and anyone you could choose anything from the past couple of years and your favorite or a favorite. And that was amazing. That was a really
Yeah.
good meal, as you can imagine.
Yeah. That was going to be one of my questions about the significant others. Do they get to come? Have you repeated that or was that a one off? And
That was one off. I do think part of it was that then Emma's husband passed away the next year.
mm,
And that's not the only reason. It's also really nice to just have this space that is just with like all the tides of life changing. It's just, the same kind of.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
we did that the one time. I think maybe we would have done it more, but I think having this space that felt really special to be just us to hunker down in when that happened, we just haven't
Yeah.
Haven't messed with it again.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes total
So
sense.
my husband Dan he's just jealous every time. Sometimes I'll like sneak him a bite unless it's like a cake. I've made a cake. I'm sorry. I can't
Yeah.
cut into it beforehand. That's just what it is.
Yeah. Do the kids help you with the cooking at all? Are they a part of it?
Not for this.
Hmm.
They my son Jack, as you probably know, really loves cooking and baking.
Mm.
But typically not for cooking club. He doesn't help. So maybe we'll have to get him into it. And Maeve is like semi-interested, but he loves, adores cooking and baking. So
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
time, maybe I can get him to do them, if I'm busy, like
Yeah.
Jack. Got a recipe for you.
Just not the cocktail.
Not the cocktail. Not no.
Yeah. Well, also cool for them to see that this is something that mom does and mom has
Yes.
her thing and she has her own space and her friends and her time. And I think that's really important
Right.
for kids to see as well.
I totally agree. And I do host we rotate hosts. So like once a year, I end up hosting and they clear out. And not all of the women in the group are parents,
Mm.
but the ones who are, a lot of times the spouses will get the kids together at
Mm.
another house and hang out. So that's been fun. So when we said to the kids, "Oh, mom has cooking club," they were like, "Yay!" Because they're going to get together with the other kids.
So fun. That's
They
fun.
know the drill. Yeah. So, but I agree. I think it's good for them to see.
Yeah. Well, this has been so fun. I feel like we've got a lot of ideas. If somebody who's listening, has this idea that it could be fun to start a club of their own, it doesn't feel like it's a super difficult thing to do. Get your people together, I mean, I did this one time and we did it with couples. So it was like there were three
Mhm.
couples and but really that meant I did the cooking because my husband, God love him, he does so much, but he does not cook. So I could
Yeah.
see it would be fun to, I don't know, be fun to keep it women. I like that. I like that you've done
Yeah.
that. I feel like we've got a ton of ideas here for how you could do that. So thank you for sharing. Is there any other tips or anything you would want to leave people who might be thinking about starting one of these with?
Just have fun with it. And the other thing is that I will say one of the women in the group who is fantastic has never been into cooking. And really the first year she just always took the cocktail.
Hmm.
And she's sort of branched into it. And I think just seeing how we are not this is not a cooking competition.
Yeah.
And there have been not very many flops, but there have been flops and no one cares. Like
Yeah.
it's a safe space. So I would say if have a group and it's a mixed bag of cooking interest, that is fine. Cooking skill level. My mother always said, anyone who can read a recipe can cook.
Mm.
And I think that's true.
Yes, yes. And if nothing else, it's imbibed with love. So maybe you can just taste that instead of whatever else might be in
Exactly.
there.
Exactly. That's right.
Oh,
That's
well, thank
correct.
you for
Yeah.
joining me, Maura. This was so fun. I'm so grateful that you took some time out of your busy day, and I can't wait to hear how it goes at your next club.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Hope people take up the idea because it's been great.
All right, folks, I hope that gave you an idea. Maybe it's not something that you do every 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Maybe it's something you try once, but what a fun idea, even if you just do it once. What's your favorite cookbook? Can you share that with a couple friends? If it makes it easier to assign recipes, you could do it that way, or just name the author and see what shows up like they do. I think sometimes having a theme to a party actually makes it easier. The difference between a potluck and a cookbook club isn't that much, but it takes some of the pressure off of choosing because there's only a limited amount of recipes you could choose from in a single cookbook. And it just takes that off your plate and it creates some parameters for the gathering It gives a focus for conversation if that's needed, although it sounds like these women have become such good friends that they could do this regardless of whether they were talking about their recipes or not. But if you're just thinking about starting something like this, maybe with new people, maybe like Maura said, there are a group of people in your life that you think, oh, they would be fun to be friends with. Let's think of an excuse to pull us all together. Well, here you go. I'm thinking of starting a cookbook club. Would you like to join? We're going to start with, who might it be? I will tell you the cookbook that I love right now, actually two of them because she has two, are by a woman named Jenny Rosenstrach, I think is her name, Rosenstrach. I'm not sure how she pronounces that, but she actually has a blog called Dinner a Love Story, but she wrote two books called The Weekday Vegetarians and The Weekday Vegetarians Get Simple. So two different books. And the concept being she tried to take, I think, recipes that may once have had meat in them and turn them vegetarian, and also make hearty enough vegetarian dinners that you could have those as a main and not then have to go and have a bowl of cereal or a handful of peanuts after dinner because you were filled up from the main meal. So pretty much everything I have tried in these two books have come out bangers. My kids love them, surprisingly, for a vegetarian. They moan a little bit at the tofu because they haven't quite turned them onto tofu yet. But for the most part, they will now eat these vegetarian dinners, and I love them. So I would probably start with those books if it were my cookbook club, but you could take it fancy. You could keep it casual, whatever makes the most sense for your group of friends. That's sort of the beauty of it. It can shift and change based on your dynamic. So just wanted to share a simple way that you could gather with your friends. And I'm so happy that Maura could come on and tell us how she did it as a little bit of inspiration. I'll put links to some of the recipes that she shared in the show notes, or maybe they'll go in my newsletters. And these are the kind of bonuses that come with being subscribed to a newsletter. It's free. It's not on Substack. I don't charge for it. So you don't have to pay to continue reading. You get the whole thing on the days that the episodes come out. So you can hop over to my website and sign up so you never miss an episode. All right, friends, I will be back next week with another story or example or idea of a way that you can gather, connect, and create with your people. See you next week.